Om Namaste Ganapataye Tvameva Pratyaksham Tattvamasi Tvameva Kevalam Kartasi Tvameva Kevalam Dhartasi Tvameva Kevalam Hartasi.
Our journey starts in the Vidyapith here in Ghaziabad near Delhi. All the 22 Pandit students are siddhas and gave us Vedic blessings for the yatra. Pandit Santosh, Samaveda Acharya, who received his training in Maharishi Ashram, and Pandit Yogesh Vyakaran and Yajurveda Acharya, who got trained in an ashram of Karpatriji, and not a famous disciple of Gurudev, start their yatra together with Martin from Switzerland and myself from here. Our first refreshing stop was at the Ganga crossing in Garmukteshwar. Next day we reached my place in Artola, Jageshwar, from where we are operating the Vedic Vishwaprashasaks. Two Pandits, Mahendra and Jagdish, are coming from here. Now our group of 6 is complete, and we receive darshan in the Jyotirling temple of Jageshwar before we leave. We stayed overnight in Gwaldam and had this refreshing bath in a river on the way down to Karnaprayag. In the evening we reached Kopeshwar, here the view from the Devadarshan hotel. After some doubt about the weather, we decided in the next morning to risk the high mountain tour in spite of a lot of rainfall in the last 10 days. Here we are sorting out the final luggage we need for 3 guides plus us 6 yatris.
Sarvam jagadidam tatto jayate Sarvam jagadidam tattastishtati Sarvam jagadidam tvayivayameshyati Sarvam jagadidam tvayitrateti Tvam bhumirapo nalo nilo navaha Tvam chatvari
The way from Kopeshwar up to Chopta gives spectacular views and sometimes also a bit of wildlife, like these 2 wild boars. This gate is the starting point of the 3-kilometer long trek to Tungnath. We went in June 2003 and also enjoyed the sunrise in Chandrashila, 1 kilometer ahead of Tungnath. This time we enjoyed in Chopta our last sumptuous meal before our adventurous trek starts. Since a few years, there is a motor road into the valley leading to Mad Maheshwar starting from Kokimat. The traditional way used to start in Kalima, a very famous Kali temple, when reaches via Guptakashi. We visited it last year. This is how far the cars could bring us. Now trekking starts. After about 3 kilometers was this village. On our first trip to Maheshwar a few years ago, we stayed here overnight. Now it was already 5 p.m. and the guides were warning us that we will get into the night if we continue all the way to the end of the valley to Gonda, from where the ascent to Maheshwar begins. That will be all right, the way is good and we have torches, I replied. We indeed reached safely, but along with us we brought a few passengers from the wet forest. Leeches. The most effective way to remove them is with salt. Leeches not only use a very effective narcotic, so one does not feel at all their razor-sharp bite. They also inject an anti-clogging liquid. It therefore takes unusually long time after the leech is removed for the bleeding to stop. And we found a few other nice tenants in the house we stayed. In this direction is the way to Maheshwar. It is over 10 kilometers of climb, but the climb is a lot. It starts at 1500 in Gonda and ends at 3200 in Maheshwar. That means 1700 meter height. But a few mountain farmers on the way who are happy to provide milk, yogurt and even meals are found. Yes, Santosh, it is still some time to walk. year before, we went up to the top at 6 in the morning to enjoy a good view of Chokamba. This year we left after 9 AM very easily. In Gondar we had to add another guide to our crew because we learned that there will not be any wood for cooking. We will need kerosene and a stove along with us. Further, Martin had severe pain in his operated knee, so we had to free him from his backpack, and that helped at least for now. This guide suggested that we leave much earlier to make sure we reach before the afternoon rain. As it turned out, this was a self-referral suggestion. We had to wait and wait and wait for this our new porter. We named him Superfast. Pushkar impatiently remarked that no one would be able to climb to the top in the rain. From the thickness of the scattered pieces of the plane which has crashed here, Martin started to guess how big the plane must have been. Finally, we ate some lunch also. All in all, we waited more than 2 hours for Superfast. Before reaching the top, rain came, and it came in plenty. We tried to find our way to the top. It became increasingly tricky. top we were greeted with hailstorm, and even a tiny lightning struck Martin's umbrella. Finding a place to put up the tent was not a very inspiring thing to do in this weather. It became colder and colder, which was especially going to the bones because of the wet condition and not having any physical demand anymore. We were just standing and waiting. Mahendra started crying, Jagdish lamenting. They were kind of celebrating the last day of their life. We are just standing and looking how our sleeping bags are getting wet and waiting and hoping. Tents cannot be put up as long it rains that heavily. It stopped a little, but before we could raise the tent it started pouring again. We had to cover it quickly with the outer plastic. Let's see how anyone will sleep in their wet sleeping bags.
Ich weiß überhaupt nicht, ob du irgendjemand wirst schlafen. Das ist mal eine ganz andere Frage.
Early morning view. Down there we can see the Pandav Sera valley we want to reach today. It doesn't look to be a very difficult task. We decided to eat at the destination. Already at 9 o'clock we were on the track. Water for drinking was there in plenty. The weather was looking increasingly dreadful. It became colder. The way was very slippery from the frequent rains in the last 10 days, 2 weeks. And what was not visible from Kashni, it went over uncountable mountain noses. 200, 300, 400 meters down and up and down to cross another river and up to cross another mountain. Here at least, Santosh and myself decided to enjoy a refreshing morning bath. While putting back the wet socks and shoes, I noticed that my big toes were suffering from that wet condition and started to build up a blister. All my good bandages were in the big rucksack, which were with the guide, and they have left ahead. Again we have to descend to cross this strong river. It is a very steep and extremely slippery one, and my feet burned like hell. Not seen in the film because it started to rain so heavily that we both, Martin and myself, were not inspired to film when we reached the bottom, is the self-made bridge of 2 tree trunks laid over the tossing river. Over there, it shows how the way continues. I had to take off my shoes and the sandals broke as well. The only solution left was to join the barefoot club of Santosh. In spite of open bleeding toes, I felt no pain because of cold. The feet became numb. Looking back where we came from, snow covered everything. Finally we reached, completely exhausted, not having eaten the whole day, Pandav Sera. Chief Singh, the shepherd, came and greeted us. I checked your food supply. You have only for 1 day food left. It has fresh snow all around. You will not be able to cross Nandikund Pass. None will survive. The last group who did not listen to my words all died. Now back with our situation. We decided to stay in Pandav Sera. Pushkar goes back to Okimat and calls Loniji to ask him to organize a helicopter, if possible. Then we can go to Badrinath. If not possible, we leave here when Pushkar comes back after 4 or 5 days. By that time, we will have recovered enough, and that also happened. Helicopter never came, and one guide goes back to Madmaheshwar only to get rice and dal, so we have something to eat. What has taken us 2 days one way has taken the guide half a day. He returned next day by noon with new food supply. What first looked like a problem turned out to be a heavenly blessing. No one will ever forget the beautiful 5 days in Pandav Sera. 2 times food a day, not only once like during the days we walked. Vegetable was fresh, plucked from the meadow. The guides and the shepherd knew what could be eaten. But Martin proclaimed that he would instruct his wife at home no rice and no dal for the next 10 years.
Eating the food.
The 5 dogs of the shepherd protecting the herds from the leopard who came at night sometime. The first night we heard him. They are patiently waiting for their turn of food. Cold morning baths are another, more or less deep memory, depending on the individual. There is a choice between a lovely creek and a wild river. Sand is the most natural and oldest soap. The water is as cold as glacier water from Gomukh. While submerging the head, it turns black in front of the eyes. It is really cold. Santosh does not seem to have any problem. Mahendra, however, never made it to a full dip. But Jagdish seems to torture himself. Should I? Should I not? Should I? Should I not? It freezes my brain. but I still have soap in my hair. Oh ho!
स्वाधात्री स्वाहा स्वधा नमोस्तुते जय तुम देवी चामुंडे जय भूतार्तिहारिणी जय सर्वगते देवी कालरात्रि नमोस्तुते दुर्गे स्मृता रसिवेतिमसे सजन्तो स्वस्ते स्मृता मतिमते वसुभां ददाति दारिद्र्य दुःख भयहारिणिका त्वदन्या सर्वोपकारकरणाय सदार्धचित्ता देवी प्रपन्नार्थे हरे प्रसीद प्रसीद मातर्जगतोऽखिलस्य प्रसीद विश्वेश्वर पाहि विश्वं त्वमीश्वरी देवी चराचरस्य या स्त्री स्वयं सुकृतिनां भवने स्वलक्ष्मीः पापात्मनां कृतधियां हृदये सुबुद्धि श्रद्धा सतां कुलजन प्रभवस्य लज्जा तां त्वां नतः स्म परिपालय देवि विश्वं विद्या समस्तास्तव देवि वेदा स्त्रिया समस्तास्तकला जगत्सु त्वयैकया पूरितमम्बयैत का ते स्तुतिस्तव्यपरा परोक्तिः रोगानशेषा नपहंसि तुष्टा हृष्टा तु कामान् सकलानभीष्टान् त्वामाश्रितानां न विपन्नराणां त्वामाश्रिता ह्याश्रयतां प्रयान्ति त्वामाश्रिता ह्याश्रयतां प्रयान्ति।
This idyllic creek reminded me of the holy tradition painting. We would just need to dress up a few people and could film a holy tradition live. A challenge were the yoga lessons with Sama Vedacharya Santosh.
तस्मै मकाराय नमः शिवाय शिवाय गौरी वदनाथ वृन्द शौर्याय दक्षाधरणा श्रीनीलकण्ठाय वृषध्वजाय तस्मै शिकाराय नमो शिवाय वसिष्ठकुम्भो भवगौतमाय मुनीन्द्रदेवाचितशेखराय चन्द्राकवैश्वानरलोचनाय तस्मै बकाराय नमः शिवाय यज्ञस्वरूपाय जटाधराय पिनाकहस्ताय सनातनाय दिव्याय देवाय दिगम्बराय तस्मै यकाराय नमः शिवाय.
On the fifth day, Pushkar came back. Helicopter was not possible, fortunately. But we have to leave immediately. It is Tuesday afternoon now. On Friday night is the flight of Martin from Delhi. It is clear we will not reach Delhi in time. But we have to reach a phone by Friday afternoon to inform the airline. That is the deadline. Pushkar brought 2 more guides from Gondar with him. Super fast, I paid off yesterday. He's useless. But the new guides wanted 300 rupees per day, a price that is never paid to guides. They get maximum 250. They refuse, I refuse. Everything is packed and ready, but it's gloomy, no solution in sight. The weather makes its contribution. The porters know we need them and misuse the situation. Martin asked, and what now? This was expected, Martin. It's not unusual. I whispered to Pushkar that if we were forced to pay 300 rupees, we would deduct it from the commission to your agency. Whether this remark or something else solved the crisis, I cannot say. 5 minutes later, everyone started picking up his assigned bags, and the caravan of 11 moves to the end of the valley, only about 2 to 3 kilometers further from where the real ascent will start. Same situation like in Kashmir. Rain for building up the tent. But by now, everyone learned how to do it, and we can do it together fast, even during the rain. The story goes that the Pandavas stayed here and made this waterway seen here to water their fields. The source is in the direction Pushkar is walking. We are seeing 2 rivers coming down, one straight or more to the right and one coming from the left. Our guide from Gopeshwar explained me that we have to pass over on the left side by first walking straight and then turn 180 degrees back to the pass on the left. Next morning we got up before 5 and left at 6 sharp. As explained by our original guide, we turned left as they did themselves. Then these two guides started shouting, "Come back, come here." They are upset that those guides from Gobeshwar do not know the way and would have completely brought us in a wrong direction and maybe dangerous situation. The correct way is straight up and not turning to the left.
Actually, रास्ता ये है। Social सरोवर बनवा करके
This is Nandikund, and over this pass we will have to go. This shrine is dedicated to the Pandavas, and it is said that the swords left here were belonging to them. From here it is believed the Pandavas ascended to heaven. This is the famous Brahma Kamal, lotus of Brahma. There is nothing worse in walking than having to cross an old glacier. It looks so close where we have to cross, but it takes us more than 2 hours. Long, strangest 2 hours. We are at the height of 4,300 to 4,550 meters. The thinness of oxygen is felt by everyone. Walking on snow on such a steep slope was a challenge for a few footwears, especially Yogesh's. After descending 300 height over similar stone terrain on the other side, we reached that plateau. Just then, another group arrived from the other direction, a German and his Indian friend. Our guides went ahead and started cooking khichdi, our only hot meal on this day. This happened on one shoe on the way up to the glacier and on the other on the way down. I bound them with a string, but now they serve the general amusement more than their original purpose. Because of imminent rain, we quickly built up the tent, and it was just in time to save us and our sleeping bags from getting drenched once again. Ralph, the German mountaineer, showed me a perfect map from Uttaranchal. "Where did you get that one?" "In Switzerland," he said. Good maps of India you have to get from the internet or from Switzerland. He was very concerned of how little is done for tourism in this state. Our kitchery is ready, but uneatable. They made it for their taste. Carelessly, they only thought for them, the guides, not for us. None of us can eat so much of chilies. It turns the stomach. I tried with a lot of ghee, but still it was horrible. Ralph explained, "You have to go down here, it is very steep, and then cross the river and climb the mountain in front. Then go back down on the other side and you will meet a shepherd. Go further down and cross the river again, and then you have to go up the second mountain you see behind in the back. Reach the top and walk along the top for 1 or 2 hours to your right until you come to Bansinarayan temple." The rain stopped again. We dismantled the tents and left to descend at least to the river. For Martin, the pain in the knees has become a major problem. He's always way behind. Every step is hell. Walking down that steep, wayless meadow are not a joke for him anymore. Except for Mahendra, everyone crossed. Our 5 guides, on the right the new ones from Gonda, on the left the 3 from Gopeshwar. We made halt for the night further up the mountain. It was becoming dark, and they must have fallen asleep while meditating. Next morning we got up at 4, some at 3, and we left at 5 o'clock sharp, climbing up the passless mountain.
All this, he came down. There's the path. Walking the route would be along this ridge, up and down, over every nose. Until there. There's a maze Udanat. A quail.
This is the shepherd's place on the other side of the mountain. It is now 9 AM, and some of us taken bath on the source here, and we have their only meal of the day, khichdi, this time without chilies. I scolded them for what they did yesterday. I am wearing the tracking sandal of Martin, which are 3 numbers too small. I keep a lot of cotton wool and Johnson & Johnson tape with me to avoid any formation of another blister. From now on, there is a way, and a beautiful one, leading through a lot of rhododendron bushes. Up there we have to climb again, and also it is a good way. On the top we were in the clouds, but no rain. the ridge must be most beautiful on a clear day in April, because one would see the higher Himalayas and would be surrounded by flowering rhododendrons. Martin is very much behind. His knee is troubling him seriously, and we think of leaving him overnight at the temple and try to get some mules to bring him down. He will not be able to walk down 2000 meters height difference. But mules cannot come here, we are told, at the temple. It is too steep a way. We both sat in the temple and meditated for 20 minutes. I'll walk, Martin said. That's all we can do. Waiting for mules that cannot come does not make sense. After 5 minutes I asked, "How is your knee doing?" And Martin replied, "I don't understand anything. The pain is almost completely gone. Since we meditated in the temple, there is no pain." Martin walked down as fast as any one of us. The pain did never come back. It was a miracle, simple a miracle. The first sign of civilization, a house. A simple one, okay, but a house. The first one we see since 12 days. And cows again. This evening there will be milk again. After another hour we reached the fields of Urgam, a long stretched village. It was dark. After 8 p.m. we reached the hotel of Negiji, a good old friend. This was the longest day. Next morning we had to take baths in the river, just in front of the Kalpeshwar temple, about 1 kilometer away from Urgam. Negi's hotel had a water problem. It's quite cold, he complains. It has taken more than 1 hour for the whole wet ceremony. Now we are ready for the temple.
Om Namaste Ganapataye Tvameva Pratyaksham Tattvamasi Tvameva Kevalam Kartasi Tvameva Kevalam Dhartasi Tvameva Kevalam Hartasi Tvameva Sarvam Khalvidam Brahmasi Tvam Sakshad Atmasi Nityam.
the main village center of Urgam, opposite some lost villages high up in the mountain. Here in front of Nege's hotel, upholstering the feet for the last 11 kilometers down to Helong. We have reached Helong and sitting on the dusty Haridwar-Badrinath motor road, waiting for more than 2 hours to get a taxi to take us 100 kilometers down to Kopeshwar. And Kopeshwar is more than 100 kilometers away from where the car dropped us 12 days ago. How much we actually walked, we do not know. Everyone dreams about the beautiful time in Pandav Sera.